Boom, we have audio. Hi, folks. Welcome to Fifth Third Arena. Sorry about that. We had some Wi-Fi issues at the beginning of the broadcast, and I had to shut everything down, and apparently the audio didn't join us. But we are back. He's Mike Napolitano. I'm Aaron Schellen. This is the Jets and the Stallions. Jets jumped out to an early lead on a goal off that started on a breakaway. You know what's good about not having the audio at the beginning of the broadcast, Mike, is we can talk about all those things we talked about already. We just talk about them again. That puck is in to TJ Tommaso, the starting goalie. It squirts wide of the post, but the official lost it and blows the whistle. So 8:51 left. Sorry about that. We are live. This is what happens with live broadcasts sometimes, right? You got to scramble.
That did get gloved down by Tommaso, but it was a quick one. It's almost like he was kind of peeling it right back up and able to get the whistle on that one. So there'll be a face-off to his glove side. It looks like he's got a different name on the back of his jersey, though, which is a little confusing, but we're seeing a 33, and on our roster, it's Tommaso. So let me see if I can double check that for us.
Yeah, I mean, if there's somebody down, if there's somebody watching this game at home, we got a wraparound, and there's another goal for the Jets. I think that was Vosnik that was 2. That was Junit Velasquez giving the Jets a 2-0 lead. Yeah, if somebody's watching, can let us know. Number 33 on our roster is listed as TJ Tommaso, but he does definitely have a different name on the back of that jersey.
That's what was kind of throwing me. Also, he's got the main color is his jersey. It's the black jerseys compared to the gold that the skaters are wearing. But good to identify which one's the goaltender.
Well, you know what, and I don't mind it. That black and gold is that is my favorite team. That's the Boston Bruins, and so I like coming here and doing Stallions games because I get to see my black and gold in action.
That is true. No black and gold in action tonight in the NHL.
No,
but
not
up
much.
the block at 7 o'clock will be the Blackhawks taking on the Capitals. There's a
first opportunity. That was Alwyn Lang taking the shot, going down, and the save was made. Back to the point, Fletcher Palmer into some space. Near wall here.
It'll be Connor Bedard back in action tonight against Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals, who it might be Alexander Ovechkin's last time in Chicago. So if you're traveling to or from this game here at Fifth Third, up the block, it's going to be busy in a little bit. So I hope you made some plans.
That's why I got here early. I got here at about 4 o'clock today because I always knew parking here wasn't always. I mean, if you can get into the lot right next to the building, you're set. But you're never really sure, right? So I figured. Right. If I got here at like 4 o'clock on a Friday, you wouldn't have the Fifth Third traffic, and then you wouldn't have those people trying to sneak into the Fifth Third lot who are going to the Blackhawks game.
Yeah.
So I got here early. I've been here for a couple hours already, just sort of hanging out. It's been quiet.
Little did we know that, there is going to be more parking here with the expansion that they've made to Fifth Third Arena.
This is Alwyn Liang taking it wide, trying to skate through the double team and can't. Over into the corner with it is Vosnik. Liang. A couple of yellow jerseys over there, a couple of blue jerseys. Puck off the stick of Nathan Dixon, and it's taken by Vosnik. So this is the first of a handful of CUHL games that we'll be doing here over the next month or so, as that puck is pushed forward, and Velasquez was in offsides. Yeah, a handful of games we'll be doing here down the stretch for the CUHL. We're going to be down in Crestwood on the 24th, and then in February we're going to be at Canlan Romeoville for the Huskies for a squirt matchup there. And then on March 1st, we're going to be at Vernon Hills to do the CUHL Championship. So looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for a lot of that.
I love hockey. I love all levels of hockey, man. I really do.
And, for you and I, our seasons had been ending around, where the playoffs are going to end this year for the C8, Central States Hockey League.
Yep.
So a little extra
Get an extra month out of hockey. Yeah, absolutely.
Sign
Before we
me
get
up.
into spring, I mean, during spring and summer, I'm a baseball guy through and through. But, if I can get an extra month of hockey, I'm down for it.
Absolutely.
For sure. Puck is pushed back to the point and kept in there by Biena for the moment. Now it's pushed out by the Jets, who lead 2-0. This is Winston Mertz, has his pocket picked by Rosen. Rosen behind the net. Excuse me, Rosen's out in front of the net. That's backhanded. That is Rosen, not able to get his forehand on it. That's off the post and out. And Tommaso will cover up for a whistle and a face-off. Goalie's best friend, that left post, or I guess right post. And goalies are a unique brand, man. Tommaso's down there doing his swimming motions down on the ice. I love goalies. They are probably my favorite personality of any position of any sport.
Pretty much, yeah.
You gotta be unique.
Goalies are weird, that's for sure. We gotta love them. But you saw the little shrug and the palms in the air from Bobby Hesser, who took that shot and it rang off the post and came back and hit the pads. So just a little, I don't know what happened there from Hesser.
Mm-hmm. That's Anisimov with a nice move. Sasha Anisimov stops right at the blue line. Right in front of the Jets bench. We were talking about this when you couldn't hear us, so we'll talk about it again. These Jets jerseys are alternate jerseys for their 20th anniversary. I learned that when I was over at Johnny's East a couple of weeks ago to do a squirt game over there. And yeah, I like the color, the blue with the dark red stripes. Evie Biena back to play the puck as Winston Mertz helps her out. It's taken, though, by Quentin Feller. Feller along the wall.
It is a nice touch. We were talking about how there is, of course, the Winnipeg Jets that have a very similar color scheme with the blue. Yeah, that
blue and red, blue, red, and gray.
But that works for Chicago, too, especially when you get this alternate blue going in the logo as well.
Anisimov across the blue line, overskates it a bit.
There was an Artem Anisimov that played for the Blackhawks, who also wore number 42. You got to
wonder if there's a connection.
Connection, some inspiration to that.
Bosnick 1-on-4, cuts it to his right, backhands it in on goal, and the save is made by Tommaso.
Very nice sprawling save.
4:12 left in the period. The Jets 7-1 through their first 8 games, 53 goals, 26 against. They've won 5 in a row, while the Stallions are 4-3 with a shootout loss in their 8 games. No, we're not ready yet, folks. There's no one set to take the face-off for the Stallions. There we go. That'll be Archie Mertz. Won by the Stallions. Alwyn Liang skates right out in front of his own net, pushes it over to the wall, gets a little bit of space, stops at the blue line, and gonna continue to work that puck forward, young man.
Tried to do a little bit of a spin move off the boards to get out, but just too many blue sweaters in that zone.
Now skating out with it is Nathan Dixon. He gets a little bit of space. Fletcher Palmer gets away from him, almost a breakaway for Velazquez. Instead, we might have one the other direction as Archie Mertz, top of the near circle, shoots it just wide. Lev Liss has the puck taken away. Gets it back, though. Nice play off the boards by Liss, and now Liss will start a 3-on-0 here. He's got Lev Drobit. Liss in the shot, sticked away nicely by Tommaso. Stallions trying to get some offense here. Haven't had much yet. It's been mostly Jets down to our left, but now here's Liang. Puck staying in the Stallions' defensive zone.
The Jets have done a nice job of forechecking, not only with 50-50 pucks, loose pucks, but also just gumming up the rush from the Stallions, trying to get out of their own zone to keep this puck in and create opportunities for the away the away side.
At this level, putting pressure on the puck is pretty much defensive strategy number 1. Right? Try to get that young player to make a mistake with the puck on their stick. And now here's an opportunity for the Stallions. It's Liang breaking in all by himself. Owen Liang in. Liang shoots. The save is made by McCallum. The puck is loose. He'll cover up and we'll get a whistle. First real good opportunity for the Stallions, and Carson McCallum comes up big, makes the save.
Yeah, it almost looked like he dropped before the shot, almost a little bit of a hesitation from the shooter, and still able to make the save, but he was already in that butterfly, so the puck popped out, and there was an opportunity for Archie Mertz, but McCallum flopping on that one in order to make the second save and get the whistle.
Tividar on the face-off for the Stallions. Kept in there by Winston Mertz. Mertz able to stick handle through. Mertz, good back check there by Bobby Hesser to deflect that puck wide. Now Hesser behind the net. Tries to stop and go back to his forehand, blows a tire. Now in the corner with under 2 minutes. Pierce Palmer. Nice move there by Elizabeth Nam. Her shot, and she scores. Nice move, backhand, forehand. Elizabeth Nam gets the Stallions on the board. It's 2-1.
A great opportunity from the Stallions. This home side wins the board battle, peels that puck off the boards, and as you mentioned, Elizabeth Nam taking it straight to the house, and a tough angle shot, but able to find room through the wickets and cut this lead in half.
Yeah, big goal with under 2 minutes left in the period. It's always nice. You know, what do we always say, Mike? Most dangerous lead in hockey, right?
That's true.
At every age level, it doesn't matter whether you're talking the pros or the 8-year-olds, a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous in hockey, and the Stallions prove it once again as they get back within 1. Minute and a half left. Here's Winston Mertz. Getting some space. He'll skate forward. Now in the neutral zone. Goes around the defense there, now into the attacking zone with it, finally cut off. Kept in at the far point by Pierce Palmer. Now it's out to the neutral zone, and it's cleared in for an icing as Tividar hadn't cleared the zone. Well, minute 3 left in the first, 2-1, 11-minute periods.
Another thing too, Aaron, I think we always talk about the complacency on the team that has the 2-goal lead, but don't underestimate the drive and the hunger from the team that goes down to, and the urgency. I think the Stallions had a little bit of that. It wasn't that the Jets were off their game. The Stallions took advantage of an opportunity in the offensive zone and cut that lead in half like we were talking about. They've got a little bit more work to do, though.
Puck is pushed into the Stallions' defensive end. That's Mikey McConville up the near wall. Kept in at the point by Lev Drobitz, and now out. McConville has an opportunity here if he can get to the puck. McConville into the offensive zone, near dot, and that's a nice right pad save. McCallum watched that puck all the way in onto his right pad and deflected it smartly into the corner. Now out with it are the Jets. So we're going to have a trip there. Yep, we are going to have a trip. McConnell took down Drobit. So we will have a penalty called on the Stallions with 20 seconds left to go in the first period. 90-second power plays at this age level.
We had mostly a clean first period, just a little mishap towards the end there. I don't think that was Mikey McConville.
Yep.
I don't think he meant to make the trip there, but you got to be in control of your stick at all times. And
yep, your stick is an extension of you, right?
Yep.
Intentional or not, a trip's a trip. And penalty's not up on the board yet, so they're working on that. There's 20 seconds left in the period. There it is. Oh, 1 minute power play, excuse me. Nope, 1:30.
No, 1:30, yeah.
I thought it was 1:30.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was 1:30. Rosen flips it towards the goal, gets another chance. Right at the near post, Tommaso does a nice job. Rosen continues to work. Now Nam takes it into the corner with 6 seconds. Pierce Palmer behind the net, and he will let time run out. So 2 quick goals by the Jets, put them up 1-0. But the Stallions get one back. We'll go to the second, 2-1. Mike and I will be back here in just a second. This is CUHL Hockey on Stream Sports Midwest. Back here for period number 2. We're at Fifth Third Arena. A stone's throw away from the United Center, where puck drop over there is set for about 30 minutes from now. My recommendation is CUHL hockey on the big TV, Connor Bedard's return on the little TV until this one's over.
Yes,
that's what I would
switch over.
That's what I would recommend doing. This on the big TV, Blackhawks on the little TV. Comes out to center ice. 50 seconds left on the power play. Voznik with some speed moving forward as Velasquez on his right. Voznik to his forehand. I think that hit the stick of Winston Mertz, and either way it deflects in right out of the chute. So a power play goal for the Jets makes it 3-1.
Yeah, the Jets have not slowed down. Like I talked about, we talk about typically the team with the 2-goal lead has the complacency. They haven't had that. It was just the Stallions getting a really good opportunity in the offensive zone to cut the lead in half. But right off the bat here in the second period, the power play unit for the Jets gets the job done, and we're back to even strength. Unfortunately, they still have the penalty listed up on the scoreboard, but back to 5-on-5 hockey with a 3-1 lead for the Chicago Jets. We're talking about that game happening up the block, and we got a chance to see the rest of this Fifth Third Arena here as the Jets cut back into the zone, into the slot, and a shot that rises over the shoulder and finds its way behind Tommaso, and it is now a 4-1 Jets lead here in the second period. Just a beautiful rising shot from the Jets as they switch up lines right there. We've got everybody on the ice momentarily, but
everybody's celebrating.
An extension of the lead right there. This is, of course, not the Hyundai rink.
That's behind us. I can see the Hyundai rink right through the glass here.
Yes. This is that secondary rink that they've had at Fifth Third Arena, but there are 2 more now with the expansion that they built on. One of them is going to be probably a lot more of the practice center for whatever team calls the now UGS Arena home. That is the 4th rink that they put in with full-on seating, a couple of different coffee bars and actual bars. And I mean, this thing is just a beautiful addition to what was already a brand new facility here at Fifth Third Arena, which is going to be renamed the Chicago Blackhawks Ice Facility.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you put the Blackhawks name on something, that's a positive.
Blackhawks Ice Arena, I believe, actually.
Yeah, Chicago Blackhawks Ice Center or something.
Yeah, so that's going to be the new home of the Chicago Steel, as they're branding themselves the dopest non-NHL franchise.
Dopest?
Yeah, and you already see it printed on some of the walls.
1987, apparently.
Yeah, so.
Which, I mean, I don't know, that's my time frame, so I don't mind using words like that.
That's cool, yeah.
They're radical, man.
Radical. They've got their new logo already there. Look out in
Centering
front.
feet out in front, and Bobby Hesser gets cut off by Tommaso. That was a nice center from down in the corner, and Tommaso able to make the save.
So I could see a lot more hockey happening at this facility. We already know the Chicago Steel will call this place home next year. And it is a beautiful new home. I wonder, maybe PWHL. We've already got the Blackhawks that practice here. Yep. You and I were talking about the different practice arenas for the Blackhawks. I drove past a billboard that had a sign for the Polar Dome over in East Dundee. We did a game from there, and back in the day when the old Chicago Stadium was in use for other events, they'd practice, Blackhawks would, at that stadium because it was the same dimensions.
That is a unique building. I had never been in there before. I'm not from Chicago initially, so never went to Santa's Village growing up or anything like that. But that is a unique building, to say the least. We were walking around up in there, while we were doing our game, and it was just, obviously they're remodeling it, so there were some empty rooms and some construction and stuff, but it was just very unusual. Here's another chance right out in front, shot wide by Hesser.
I implore you to go back and check out that broadcast from right before Thanksgiving. That was a fun one, and yeah, a lot of character in that building. And we talk about 2 other practice homes for the Blackhawks is Johnny's Ice House, where the Jets are out of, and then here
West
where
and
the
East.
Stallions
West
play.
Andes.
West Andes. Yes.
I didn't even know See, I've been doing youth hockey now for 5 years. I didn't know until really the beginning of December that there was a Johnny's East.
I didn't know that either.
I knew there was a Johnny's West, but when I had this game scheduled, I was talking to the parents of one of the players who helped put it together, and I said, is parking at Johnny's West still, because it's an underground parking garage, I said, is it still rough over there? She goes, yeah, but we're not at Johnny's West, we're at Johnny's East. I went, what's Johnny's East? She said, well, the parking's even worse over there.
Oh,
I went,
no.
Good, okay.
That's always what you want to hear, right?
It looks almost identical, like once you're inside. But, yeah, I had to park a block away with all my gear, and I had to walk with all of it. And at least here I got to park in the lot right next to the building, so.
Yeah, as we were saying at the start, I don't know if anybody could hear us at that point, but the parking here was always limited, although with the expansion, they've also opened up more of a parking lot that was more so the players' lot at a certain time. So
well, they're going to have to, right, with 4 rinks potentially in use at all times, as we'll have an offside there. Yeah, they're going to have to. There's going to be potentially twice as many people coming through this building on a normal day, normal Saturday, instead of having 8 games between the 2 rinks. You might have 16 between the 4. You got to figure out a way to expand that parking.
It is going to be a premier hockey destination if it wasn't already, for tournaments, for USHL team.
I've done a couple of playoff tournaments here. I believe I think it was a Pee-wee. The Pee-wee playoffs I did here a couple of years ago.
Yes, yeah.
I've been here a bunch. This is probably the 15th or 20th game I've called from this rink over the years.
I remember,
it's Chicago, but it's not hard to get to. Right? It's a straight shot up 290. If you don't mind sitting in a little bit of 290 traffic, it's easy to get here.
You mean the world's largest parking lot?
Oh, man. Doesn't matter what time of day or what day it is, as Liang makes a nice move to get free. Cuts to his forehand, now to his backhand, now to his forehand.
Oh, wow.
He ends up in the net, but the puck goes wide. That was some fancy puck work there by Alwyn Liang.
Liang had the defender. That was William Rosen, turned around completely, and he was just kind of toying with him because he had that time and space to have a little deception and get himself some space in front of the net. Unfortunately, the shot hits the pad, and as you said, he finds himself in the back of the net, but it was a good effort nonetheless.
Pierce Palmer going after it in the corner. The tape is starting to come loose on his stick. See it floating around in the breeze as he stick handles.
Some guys prefer that. I don't know. You've got a plethora of interesting tape jobs. I don't know if that was intentional, though.
I think it's, at this, I would think at this age level, the kind of the whole idea of being able to tape your stick the way you want, and some individualism is, here's another breakaway. This one by Stefan Vosnik, and the nice save made by Tommaso. That individuality is one of the things I love about hockey, right? You tape your stick however you want. Goalies can paint their masks, and I think it's cool. You're not, there are other sports where you can be fined if your socks are too long or if you're not wearing the right practice T-shirt, and hockey would never.
I saw the goaltenders that were practicing for the Stallions at whatever age group that was in front of us before this game, and one of the sticks actually had printed on it Stallions, and it had some black, gold, and white, like almost army checkered tape right above the handle. So a lot of customization with that one.
Puck along the near wall, 2 skaters to a side. Moving forward is Pierce Palmer, has it taken away. Now it's Nathan Dixon trying to get free. Dixon being hounded over there by Vosnik. Doesn't make it through. Now in the corner, Talon Lifshin. Lifshin skates out in front of his own net, knocked away from him by Pierce Palmer. Up the near wall, kept in again by Palmer. Dixon trying to get space again. Taking it wide, gets double teamed, and Rosen not able to play it out, kept in nicely by Evie Biena. Up the wall. Now Mikey McConville with some space on his backhand. Oh, puck rolls off his stick into the corner. Tries to center it. It's deflected along the wall. Cleared up and out. McConville gets there first. Gives it away. And now in is Hayward, Drake Hayward. Good stick work there by the Stallions. That was Pierce Palmer to break that puck up. Now Liang down the near wall. Liang keeps that puck on his stick. It's tied to his stick. He's got some speed. Lifshin, good defense. Liang, a bad angle shot, and the save is made by Carson McCallum. I've been impressed, Liang. You see those stick handles at a young age, and generally speaking, they're good for, you know, 1 or 2 dangles before that puck rolls off the stick. But Liang does a nice job. It's like it's taped to his stick.
Yeah, Liang has had a couple of opportunities that he's created for himself. Almost caught the goaltender, McCallum, cheating on that near post. There was a little bit of space in between the pads and the iron, but stays out, and we get a whistle.
Jets have it here. They throw it over to the wall. Stallions take it away, though. Down 4-1 in the second, just under 4 minutes left. It's pushed up by the near point. When the Stallions get there, they won't. The Jets will work it out. Michael Rosen with some speed. Rosen's going to break in all alone. Bad angle, but he somehow tucks it inside the far post. He waited for Tommaso to make his move and then shot the puck and made it 5-1.
Sometimes that's all that takes is we talked about in that first period, a little bit of the hesitation from the shooter gets the goaltender to bite, and you get him down in a vulnerable position, you might have a lot more net to shoot at, and that's exactly what happened right there. So the Jets will extend their lead here with only 3:28 to go in this second frame.
Yeah, he was taking that puck deep, and he just waited for the goalie to make that first move. There's some good defensive work, though, by the Stallions to break the puck out. Now a breakaway the other way. Archie Mertz. Archie, top of the near circle. Mertz takes the shot. The blocker save. That's still loose, and covering up is McCallum. Get that puck elevated a lot of times at this level, and you're going to find the back of the net more often than not, but McCallum does a nice job with his blocker there.
It was a really good shot. Unfortunately, it was right where the blocker was, but as you mentioned, good lift there. And that last goal for the Jets, it's unfortunate for the Stallions because they had some great defense and some good back checking just on the play before that. They turned that into that really nice rush by Liang, but not able to capitalize, and not able to capitalize on that rising shot either. But the Stallions have had opportunities. We'll see if they can continue with that puck in the offensive zone.
You have it here. This is Nam. Nam not able to pull the trigger as her stick lifted. Stallions trying to keep it in. They can't. We got 4 Jets out in front. That pass thrown forward for Drobit. Drobit will take it deep, has it behind the net, turns back to his forehand, throws it off the side of the net. It bounces out, comes out in front for Liss, Lev Liss. Dangling there, Drobit. He shoots it into the corner. Vienna, centering feed, and out with it is Nam, Elizabeth Nam. Stick handling through some traffic smartly. Stallions went in off sides.
A little too eager on the far side was Raiden Tibidar, and that unfortunately led to the offsides call there. Nam had a really good shift. She was the lone goal scorer for the Stallions thus far.
I'm surprised Liang hasn't gotten one for the Stallions yet.
He's back out there now, though, so we'll see what happens
out there with Anisimov and Nathan Dixon. This is Nathan Dixon. Knocked away from him. Here's Liang with the puck. Now it's McConville. McConville. Stick handles forward as Liang on his right. McConville keeps running forward. It's knocked away from him, and Anisimov. Now McConville again. It's played back to the point, and we're going to have another breakaway. Here is Stefan Vosnik. Vosnik with Liang trying to catch him from behind. The shot hits the near post, bounces over to the far post, and Stefan Vosnik makes it 6-1.
Jets are just finding the right holes on the right opportunities, a couple of breakaways, and just getting an extra step on the defenseman, and that's what's leading to some of these grade A chances, down in the crease at the other end. Our goaltender for the Stallions, TJ Tommaso, just kind of recuperating after that one. There's a couple that you really can't even chalk up to being his fault. He's done everything he could probably back there, and just a whole lot of net to cover and not a lot of defense in front of him at times, but also just some really grade A shooting from the Jets.
Yep, a lot of breakaways for the Jets, and you can't fault the goalie for that, of course. Liang strong on the puck. Bad angle shot that's sticked away by McCallum, who's played really well.
Yeah, he's been tested here and there and still stood up tall.
Anisimov tries the slap shot, doesn't work. Liang takes it back. He'll take it wide. Liang shot, and how did that stay out? That must have hit the post.
I'm not even sure. It almost looked like he caught too much of it on his stick.
That went through the legs of McCallum and somehow came out the near side of the net. Here's Aaron Shue knocking the puck away. Shue on the forehand, shovels it wide, goes hard into the boards. Down to 30 seconds left in the period. Liang looking for one more opportunity here in the second. Vosnik into the offensive zone. That'll be an offsides. So 6-1, Jets with the lead. Again, team that's 7-1 to their first 8 games. Outscoring their opponents by more than a 2-1 margin, so it's not surprising to see them put up some big numbers. It'll be Sasha Anisimov on the draw, wins it. But wins it the wrong way. Now Vosnik's going to get another chance. Vosnik, the shot, and there's a save by Tommaso. Puck comes out in front, deflects over into the near corner. Anisimov will just throw it up and out of the zone as the second period comes to an end. Big period for the Jets. They put up 4. We go to the third with the Jets up 6-1. Mike Napolitano is my broadcast partner. I'm Aaron Schellen, and this is CUHL Hockey here on Stream Sports Midwest. Jets with a big lead, a big second period by the Jets, and I think if the rules are the same as they are in Central States, I believe we will have a running clock here in the third period with a 5-goal lead. We will see what happens at that first whistle. Walking forward with the puck are the Jets, and that's Rosen shooting it wide. He's had a good game. Michael Rosen for the Jets. Now Elizabeth Nam loses the puck. Rosen takes it by the far circle. Bounced up in the air. Pierce Palmer tries to skate away from a pair of Jets defenders. Instead runs into the linesman. It's pushed back behind the net where Winston Mertz will take it over. Taken back here by Drake Hayward. Hayward stops in the corner, swept away from him, and Nam will come forward with Elizabeth Nam, the lone goal scorer for the Stallions in this one. It's knocked away from her and cleared in by Quentin Feller. Feller for Hayward. Hayward far circle, walking in on the forehand, cuts out in front of the net. The shot, I don't know that made it through. The second opportunity sneaks under the glove of TJ Tommaso. That'll Michael Rosen, and it is 7-1. And yeah, that clock is running, so.
That first shot did ricochet off the pads and come right back to the shooter, and Rosen made no mistake on the second one. Just past the sprawling, outstretched glove of Tommaso, and extends that lead to 6. So 7-1 your score line here. Aaron, we had a parent come up to us before the game talking about how, you know, in about 50 years,
that's right,
these youngsters are going to be able to show their kids this game at some point, you know, and show how little they were, as there's an offside there.
That was the father, I believe, of Archie and Winston Mertz. He said, you know, that's part of the reason we do this, right?
Yeah,
is so not only that those of you watching at home, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, friends, grandparents, wherever, can watch your youngsters play, but it's a place for these kids to come back. Like tomorrow and Sunday, you and I are going to be doing a couple of high school hockey senior days,
right,
which sort of where all this culminates, right? Like it starts at this level, and then for most kids, it ends at senior night. It ends when that last game of your senior year in high school. So, you know, to be able to do this today, you know, with the 8Us, and then tomorrow be able to do those high school seniors who's, you know, in a lot of instances their hockey careers are going to be coming to an end. It's very cool.
And it's something that you don't often, or at least I don't often think about is you know, we think about, okay, yeah, maybe people can go back in about a week or a month and rewatch that game and see, you know, son, daughter, grandchild, but 50 years from now, these very skaters can show, and hopefully most are still playing in some capacity, or at least teaching their kids by showing them that kind of footage. So
this is Velazquez walking in all alone, flips it towards the goal. Tommaso makes the save. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, who knows how long. I mean, the internet, you know, for all of its faults, has some positives, right? And this is definitely one of those positives. You know, you can go back when, you know, even a year from now and say, you know, this was me a year ago. Let's look and see how much I've improved over the last 12 months, or, you know, 2 years or 3 years, or whatever the case may be. And that's neat to be able to have access to this stuff.
Got to study the tape, right?
That's right.
That's how you get better.
That's the stuff that you know, a lot of people don't want to do that tape work, right? You just want to be out there and play the game, but it's that tape work, it's that locker room stuff, it's that weight room. Like, that's the stuff that is going to show the improvements. As Liang, again, stick handling, this time gets away from him, knocked away by Lifshin. Liang in the corner. Tries to center it for Nam, but just too many blue jerseys.
Liang had 3 blue jerseys directly on him and a 4th watching his pass. So, and practically that whole Jets team was watching out for him.
Mertz to Liang. Liang with the quick wrist shot, and McCallum makes the save. So, you know, it's 7-1. Obviously, the Jets offense has played really, really well today, but kudos to Carson McCallum. He's made a couple of tough saves, couple of breakaways. That one right there, very tough. 6 minutes left. Faceoff will be to the right of McCallum.
Credit to the Stallions offense, too, trying to get those opportunities, but it's just a really solid Jets squad that has moved in unison in their own defensive zone to try to switch defense into offense, and they've done that here throughout the entire game.
Puck is taken away there by Pierce Palmer. Out in front, thrown back towards the blue line. It'll reflect over by the half wall. And Winston Mertz finds Liang. Liang tries to stick handle. That'll come out. So, yeah, we've got tomorrow, you've got, I think, a Pee Wee game that you're doing.
I believe
in the early afternoon. And then we've got Glenbrook North hockey tomorrow night. And then Sunday we'll be doing a couple of games up in Lake Forest.
All over
so we
the
go
place.
from the home of the Blackhawks to the home of the Bears on Sunday.
That is
where
true.
do the
practice homes, anyways? Yeah.
Where do the Cubs and White Sox practice?
Well, that's spring
Florida,
training. That's out in
Florida,
Arizona, actually.
Right, Arizona. Yeah.
Cubs are in Mesa, I believe, and the White Sox are at the Camelback Ranch with the Dodgers.
We're not doing any hockey from Arizona in
I'd
the
love
spring.
to go that
I
far.
wouldn't mind doing it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
But no.
Tucson Roadrunners, anyone?
Bears and Blackhawks.
Can't say Arizona Coyotes anymore.
No. Well, speaking of the Bears, it's funny. We have that game scheduled tomorrow at Glenbrook North. It was originally scheduled for 7:20 p.m. Got a phone call and an email from one of the not the coaches, but somebody who was, one of the team, president, vice president. She was like, is there any way we can move this game forward? The Bears game is Saturday.
All those parents want to watch Bears playoffs, and I
they
don't
want to
blame
watch
them.
their kids, but they want to watch the Bears as well. I said, Mike and I got you. I said 5:30. We can make it happen. Here's Liang with it, trying to skate through again. 4 blue jerseys and thrown into the corner by Emmett Genter.
Still on it is Liang.
Yep. Liang now on the back check as the Jets walk forward with it. Liang ends up with the puck on his stick. Trying to skate through the defense. Almost does. Gets through 3 of the 4 before it's poked away.
That's just good forechecking and back checking from Liang to keep that puck in the zone. And, I mean, that was on his stick for a solid minute right there.
It's out, and Bobby Hesser trying to skate it forward. He can't, but now Lev Liss into the attacking zone. Good work there by Mertz to take it away. That's Winston Mertz. Flipped wide of the near post. Hessert has it behind the net. 5 yellow jerseys below the red line for the Stallions. A lot of open ice for the Jets on that back by the blue line. You don't see that 5-man defense below the red line very often, but it worked. They got control of the puck.
Sometimes you need the bodies for the board battle, but if the Jets had pried that puck off the boards, you're looking at a dangerous
like
position
that
in front of the net. Yeah,
just
right there.
like that as
I say it.
The puck squirts out, and Tommaso has to dive on it, and he just stays there on his stomach.
Yeah.
He's
making a snow angel.
He's making some snow angels. This is what was happening when I was talking earlier about how I love goalies. That's what he was doing. They're just unique characters at every age. With 2.5 minutes left, that clock continues to run.
It was 60 degrees out yesterday. He felt like he didn't get enough time out on the real snow.
It was. I can't believe it was. I mean, you couldn't enjoy it because it was like end-of-the-world weather with that rain and wind later in the evening, but
I went for a jog after it all.
You did?
Downpoured, yeah. It was nice out.
I was driving home in it. Here's an opportunity. Nice stick save made by Tommaso on the 3-on-0. Got the paddle level with the ice, and that's his best save of the game.
Yeah, it was a little misty out still, but it wasn't torrential downpour anymore. And not many times can you say you went for a run in January in shorts and a T-shirt.
I wouldn't go for a run in January or June or any other one. I'm not a runner. I'm a biker.
Yeah.
Get me on my bike,
yeah.
I'm fine, but I've never understood running for fun.
I wouldn't say it was for fun.
Oh, right out in front and burying it is Quentin Feller. That was Lev Drobit from below the red line. The centering feed found Feller, and Feller didn't miss. And that's the exclamation point on this one, I think, for the Jets.
Got an extra little celly from him after the initial one, and that makes it 8-1. We were under the 2-minute warning going into that one, so about 60 seconds to go here in this contest.
And that clock has been running this whole third period. Anisimov trying to get one back for his team in the final minute. Anisimov through some traffic. Oh, just gets away from Archie Mertz. Has it down low. Mertz throws it out in front. Anisimov, that's deflected over by the far wall as Tivadar was on the back door, but not able to play the puck. It's cleared out. Back to play it as Anisimov with 36. Nice move there by Sasha to get loose. Anisimov moving forward. Through the defense, the forehand Mertz. It came away from Anisimov, bounced over the stick of Mertz. And now with 20 seconds left. So the Stallions will drop to 4-4 with a shootout loss, while the Jets will improve to 8-1 with a shootout win. A convincing victory by the Jets here on a Friday night at Fifth Third Arena. The horn will sound, and that will do it. The Jets win 8-1. A convincing victory by a very good young Jets team.
Yeah, they dominated from start to finish here. They got the scoring done early and kept at it late, and that one wrapped up hastily. Great effort from the Stallions as well, though, and a great Friday night hockey. If you're leaving here at Fifth Third Arena or coming downtown, be worrisome of that Chicago Blackhawks traffic.
Yeah, get out of here in the next 2 hours safely, and that'll do it here from Fifth Third. He's Mike Napolitano. I'm Aaron Schellen. Jets dominate. They win tonight 8-1. We will talk to you tomorrow for Central States hockey here on Stream Sports Midwest. Good night, everybody.